So, Netflix has been doing some interesting moves lately. I remember when they first came out saying that they were going to have their own anime, everyone thought they just were kind of in it for the money. They wanted a slice of that anime money, industry money. But looking back at them now, maybe like 3 years later, they have a pretty decent lineup. For the most part, they have kept their promise of have delivering pretty damn good shows. If I had any issue with Netflix, it would have to be that they do their usual business model of holding the whole series until they have it finished and then releasing it usually by the next season. Sure, it's a bit of a irritation because you want to watch the new stuff coming out, but 2 years later down the road, I've taken it to be that when Netflix announces a specific show that I am interested in, I think, okay, I'm not gonna watch this season, so I can catch up with whatever I can on this season, and I'll just wait for Netflix to drop it. So it's kind of nice to have that separation. That way, I can watch more shows throughout the year. All that being said, today I just finished watching Beastars, and I'm here to tell you why you should go watch this show, because it's a pretty damn good show. So the story follows Legoshi. He's a large gray wolf, right? So you already know that he's perceived as a top dog, which would be great for most people. But Legoshi's the type of guy who's not there to hurt people. The idea of being a threat in itself is a inconvenience to him. He just wants to be cool and hang out, but because of how he looks, he kind of always has this sort of prejudice on it. So things start getting interesting when Tem, a classmate in Alpaca, goes missing or is brutally murdered. This further complicates the environment in school and creates more reasons to feel untrustworthy towards each other. And finally, things get really interesting when Legoshi becomes interested in a white dwarf rabbit named Haru. Because wolf and a rabbit. To clarify, I am no way or shape associated with being a furry. Sure, maybe my 7-year-old self may have been confused by Sonic and his team to have a thing for Rouge, but that's all in the past. But don't write the show off just because of its anthropomorphic animals. And the pacing on the show is really well done. You see flashes of the danger of their daily lives, but you don't really get to dive deep into that until later into the show. And the show does a really good job of just letting you spend time with each of the characters so you can understand their viewpoints and their motivations, and it gives a lot more weight behind their actions. If anything, letting the characters be different species allows for them to have more issues between each other and to have more opportunities to have that prejudice really come into play. Now, to this show's credit, it does a really good job of visualizing that prejudice, but it does it in a way that feels natural, and it makes you understand why certain characters would treat certain characters a certain way. The show does a really good job of making all its characters, well, its lead characters, feel complete. There's no substitution to a really well-written character, and this show has them in spades. From the beginning of the show, I immediately associated myself with Legoshi. I kind of felt like I could really understand where he was coming from and his mindset in certain situations, and just the idea of not wanting to hurt others and just kind of having to be reserved at all times because you don't want to give off any impression that you're trying to hurt or get in the way of something or be a bother to someone. And you have to admit, Legoshi is best boy. Come on, he's just a good guy. He's just there to help out and be chill, and he wants to fit in and shit. Like, it's all good. And I do like the dynamic between Legoshi and Haru because you have the natural predator versus prey dynamic, and then you spruce it with a little bit of love in the mix. And for the longest time, you're not really too sure if I'm in love with this girl or if I want to eat this girl. Which sounds gross out loud, but you get my point. The show does a really good job of not letting you know which of the two it is. So it is really suspenseful up until the end. all the characters in general are just really well done. Haru is a nice and kind, understanding person, and I really respect that. Louis Senpai is that cool badass that you look up to, and every scene that he's in, he really does steal that show. He holds himself to that regard, and you kind of just respect that out of just, you know, he earns that respect. And Juno is the nice bubbly kohai. You also get to understand from her perspective that she has a certain life thought out for herself, but as most of us know, life never really goes the way we plan it. So we'll see where her story goes from here on. But I will say, my main shout out has to go to Gohin-san, which is the panda homeboy. Like, that's the homeboy right there. Like, mentally, I'm at Legoshi's level. In the future, I want to be at Gohin's level. I want to be that OG-san panda. And we got ourselves a beautiful soundtrack by Satoru Kosaki. He really does a good job composing music that really elevates the scenes and makes you feel in the moment. So I'm a really big music buff or fan. I like to pay attention to the atmosphere that music kind of gives off, and it does its job, especially in certain scenes. And don't even get me started on that opening. We got ourselves another banger by Ali with Wild Style. I'm a big sucker for any anime opening or ending that has an anime pair doing a dancing number. So any of those, I'll buy it. It's total sucker for that shit. And this anime's opening is very creative, going with a almost storybook look to it, and I think those figures were actually made from yarn, so a lot of effort looks like it was made into this stop motion-y type of opening, and I really appreciate it. It's really good. So, should you watch Beastars? Well, the simple answer is, if you're a furry, yeah, you should probably go watch that. Love the show, love the plot, love the characters, and I'm definitely looking forward to buying this on Blu-ray. It looks like we won't have to wait too long because second season has already been confirmed. So that is right, spoilers, but it ends on a sort of cliff note. I think it ended in a really nice spot, and I'm definitely looking forward to more Beastars from down the line. So looking forward to that. So alrighty guys, thank you for watching. I thought it'd be nice to give you guys something else to watch if you haven't already seen this, or if you haven't already finished your complete Netflix watch list, or if you've hadn't had a chance to go back and see all of your My Anime List past animes, because that's exactly what I was going to do, but then Netflix dropped this and I had to drop that all over again. So you guys have maybe noticed a new setup, but I'm trying something new. Hopefully we can figure something to work for what's best, and we can go from there. But I am making the best situation out of it. So yeah, matane.